Um, Hello everyone, and welcome to the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center special edition of Coping with COVID. We have taken a break and we have done some in-depth research to find out what it is that our entrepreneurs really do want to see and what they want to learn about. So I am Darlisa Diltz, the managing director and owner of the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center, where we focus on providing resources, content, and education to aspiring and thriving entrepreneurs. Our motto is to be the community triage for entrepreneurship. So today, I am very excited to have with us Mr. Dyron Jolly of Incon LLC, who is the president of Incon LLC and phenomenal marketing strategist. So, welcome, Mr. Dyron. Thank you for being on with us today.
Hey, Darlisa, thanks for having me. I definitely want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you as well as your audience out here in Zoom land.
Awesome. So, before we jump into the content, want to talk just briefly about the COVID pandemic and how it has impacted businesses, all of 2020, basically. So I'm very grateful that you are providing this opportunity for us to learn and engage to understand why, first of all, marketing is important, and two, some of the things that can be done to kind of circumvent the circumstances. So before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, and yeah, just let us know a little bit about you.
Okay, of course, you guys already have the name Dyron Jolly, president of Incon LLC, president, janitor, marketing strategist. I'm kind of all of the above, right? Originally from Alabama. I'm not sure if you guys can see my nice Roll Tide football back there, but I represent Alabama very well. That's my home state, but definitely a marketing background. Grew up in an entrepreneur house, and so understand the importance of marketing. And when it's not done properly, it can make or break your company. And so that's where my interest in marketing kind of came about. And then from there, went to college, undergrad, got a marketing degree, got my MBA, and then from there started this company here and been marching it ever since.
Phenomenal. Thank you for sharing. And yes, we see your Alabama representation there in the background. I'm from Missouri, the Show Me State. Yeah, we're not too fond of Alabama per se, but that's okay. That's okay. I still think you're a good guy. Either way it goes, it's okay. It is.
Well, most winners are either loved or hated, and so that can be a good sign that you don't like us.
All right. So without further ado, I'd love to get into the content that you have for us today to talk to us about maximizing our marketing strengths. For you, those of you that are listening, I have followed Dyron and we have worked closely, and he has a phenomenal platform that he has created, him and his team, to help business owners with understanding not only where you need to adapt and place your marketing, but find out where the gaps are. So, very interested to hear and learn about what it is that you're going to share with us today concerning marketing. And a little birdie told me that there's a little bit of some prize or giveaway or some additional opportunities to connect and engage with Dyron later, but I will let him tell you guys all about that. So, Dyron, I'm going to turn it over to you to engage us with those marketing strategies.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you tell me when you can see everything.
Everything looks good from my end.
Everything is there? All right, all right. So obviously COVID has disrupted our market, has disrupted the whole world in many different ways, especially for small to mid-sized companies, right? And large companies. We see large companies who have been impacted as well. And so I want to kind of zero in on the small business area, as well as zero in specifically on marketing and how that's important now and will be important as we move forward. So again, what we want to do is maximize our marketing dollars during and after COVID. Okay. So in order to really get to a point of understanding what we need to do now and what we need to do moving forward, I just want to take a step back to communicate that there were issues with small business marketing prior to COVID ever hitting. Okay, let's look at the past, right? Several data points show that the small business owners have a high failure rate. In fact, some statistics show that right around 50% of small businesses fail within a 5-year period. And I've seen a little bit less, I've seen a little bit high, but that's roughly around about the failure rate that has been pretty consistent across the board. So even before COVID ever hit, something was wrong, right? Something was wrong in small businesses that just wasn't propelling everybody forward, right? There was a high failure rate. So what is it? What types of things were going on within business? I think that's pretty relevant because if we already understand that small businesses were already at risk of failing, COVID came in and just made that situation 10 times worse, right? So obviously something was not being done right prior to. So if those things weren't done right prior to COVID hitting, and then when COVID hit, everybody's world just got completely disrupted. So it's important for us to recognize that because those same issues that small business owners face, we're still facing right now. And if you're not careful, you'll probably continue to face those same issues moving forward. So just think about that just for a moment and recognize that even if it wasn't for COVID, we still, as small business owners, are at some type of risk with our businesses. Okay, and so now we come to a phase of COVID is actually here, right? COVID has impacted us in so many different ways. One of the main things that I definitely see is that there's a cash flow issue, right? We can't pay our rent, we can't pay employees, we can't do some of the things that we want to do in business. Again, that's small, medium, and large companies who have suffered from that. So if you can't generate cash flow, it's because you probably can't get customers through your door. If you can't get customers through your door, it all links back to marketing in some type of way. Guys, give it to me. I'm a marketing guy, so I'm gonna focus in on marketing as much as I can. So if you market effectively, if you have a strong way of marketing, that means that you will have customers, and then if you have customers and you're able to engage and provide your products and services to those customers, and then that impacts the cash flow. And so this COVID situation just caused a domino effect. We weren't able to market, or we haven't been able to market effectively. That impacts our customers, and now we are struggling with cash flow. And this cash flow issue is something that impacts many different industries. And so out to the right here, you'll see that all industries are suffering here. Okay, some a little bit more than others. The dark blue represents those companies that answered a survey saying that they have been impacted by COVID in a major way. Okay, and then as you filter down, you'll see some of those industries that haven't been impacted as much. Of course, pharmaceuticals, right? They're still thriving in some type of way, but you still see that there's some type of impact. Okay, so everybody's struggling with this issue. Another thing that we see due to COVID is virtual. Okay, I believe that having this conversation today would have been face to face. And in fact, I think I'm a little bit better when I can see people and engage with them a little bit more. But we're forced by COVID to be in a virtual environment, whether it's through networking activities, whether that be through events like this today, whether that be working at home all the time and dealing with your kids, they're popping in on the screen, so forth and so on. COVID has really disrupted our business, and so there are many other stories about the impacts of COVID. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick snapshot as it relates to marketing. But nevertheless, the point is that we are operating in different times now due to COVID. And it has disrupted our normal operations in terms of how we get business, acquire customers. So we have to recognize that, but also keep in mind that that we still, prior to COVID, were dealing with marketing issues and issues with our small businesses, period. Okay. So as we think about the impacts of COVID, as we think about the failure rate prior to COVID, we have to realize that at the end of the day, now we have to change. We cannot stay the same in terms of how we approach our businesses. We can't stay the same in terms of how we are going to market our businesses and our products and services. So something has to change. I've jotted down a couple of things here that are just some quick points that we want to keep in mind that will help your business as we move forward, okay? Number one, we can't rely on one source of generating customers. Why is that? Many businesses prior to COVID were relying just on networking opportunities and going to events. Well, when COVID came, it disrupted that, right? Everybody pretty much had to halt on all of the things that they had planned to do. So if you're not able to attend different events or participate in those opportunities that would normally generate customers for your business, and then you're not going to get those customers. So relying solely on that is very detrimental. And so we can't do that moving forward. We can't rely on traditional marketing methods alone, right? We live in a virtual and a digital environment, so we need to be able to take full advantage of those tools and those resources that are available to us. So that again ties back into just relying on one source. We have to be diverse in the things that we use to grow our business. Okay, and even when we identify the appropriate marketing channels, okay, whether that's digital or whether that's traditional methods, we have to be creative in that approach. Have a client now who, unfortunately, she started her company right in the middle of COVID. She just got her lease set up and was getting ready to launch, and then COVID hit. And so we've had to be very, very creative in terms of how to leverage social media and how to maximize that with creative ways to engage the audience. So just because we use social media doesn't mean that we're going to automatically attract people and that they're going to come and do business with us. Just because we advertise online, we have to have an engaging way to entice them or make them want to do business with us. Number 4 is so significant. This is one of the main pieces of building the right marketing strategy, and that's the knowledge. If you don't have data, if you don't have insights, your marketing strategy is really just based off of a guess or based off of what somebody else has told you or what you've seen somebody else do. And so this is an area within smaller companies, whether they're small business or even mid-sized companies, we don't use data to the maximum extent possible. Leveraging information to make wise marketing decisions. We see large companies leveraging insights. They're conducting focus groups. They're doing surveys. They're using big data to drive their marketing decisions. We see it all the time. If you go out online and you type in something that you're looking for, a product or service, and then you see that same item following you on social media platforms and in different places that you go online. That's because they're tracking every move through data, and they know and have information about you as a consumer. So we must be able to leverage that within our marketing strategies as small business owners. And then think strategically, okay? This is the whole point, is because oftentimes as small business owners, we are in the hustle and bustle of offering our products and services. And we oftentimes don't take that moment to think strategically about what all types of things we can be leveraging and how it all fits together, okay? And so what needs to change? In a nutshell, we need to move into an integrated marketing strategy. Number one, a strategy, and number two, having everything working together as one. And this is one of the areas that we've seen across the board with the majority of our clients, is they have no marketing strategy. They're relying on one or two things to propel their company, and they just don't have time to think strategically. And that's where we come in to kind of help them navigate that course. And so this is where I want to focus our attention for the remainder of this presentation on today. Okay, so as we consider before COVID, maybe these small businesses just didn't have a strong marketing strategy. That could be it, right? They obviously struggle with cash flow, or struggle with getting customers through their door or through their pipeline. So maybe they just didn't have the right strategy in place in order to do that well. So as we talk about the impacts of COVID right now, integrated marketing strategy is important right now, because we're not relying on just a few things to get it done. And then as we look forward, we should again be strategizing and making sure that everything is working together as one, so that we can grow our companies consistently and effectively, okay? So how can we build an integrated marketing strategy? I think that's the number one question, since I've talked about that, since I've kind of pepped this thing up and talked about how important it is to have an integrated marketing strategy. So we're going to focus on that just a little bit here. Again, these are 4 critical steps that we have used as we work and engage with our clientele. Okay, one of the things that we must do, that I think is very, very important, is that we have to get beyond ourselves. Oftentimes, when we own our own companies, we think that we know everything about the company in terms of what's going to work best for our company. And sometimes we do have a lot of great information, but the number one thing that we should be focused on is those that we're trying to attract and do business with. They drive our business at the end of the day, okay? So we have to stop seeing through our lens and see through the lens of our consumers. But how do you do that? We have a process that we believe is important to get there. So we're going to discuss each phase at a high level on today. Number one, let's determine the destination. Okay, I'm surprised, I'm baffled at many of the marketing sessions that we have with our clients, and they really just haven't defined their true destination, their true company goals in terms of where they're going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. What does that look like? And more importantly, how are you going to get there? So that's number one. You have to create your goals. If you don't create goals, if you don't create the destination, you'll never reach the destination, right? Number two, gain the knowledge and intelligence. Get the insights about your audience, your competitors, so forth and so on, so that you can make informed decisions. Once you have the right information, and then building that marketing infrastructure, building that strategy becomes a whole lot easier. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then after you have the strategy, now it's time to go and execute monitor, and see if it's working and try to improve upon those things. But the number one thing that we start doing as small business owners, we go straight to phase 4. Can't do that, right? There are processes, or there is a process that's required in order to get to this execution if you plan on doing it effectively. You can jump here, but you probably won't be as effective as you probably could be if you went through the proper phases. Okay, so step 1, right? We're determining the destination. Where is it that you're trying to go in business? Where do you see your company? What's your vision? Okay, your ultimate goal. What's the story? How are you going to be positioned within that market that you are seeking to serve? Just like this young fella here has his target, he's aligned properly to make the strike. Is your company aligned properly to reach wherever destination that you want to go? Okay, so after you have determined where it is that you're trying to go in business, and then from a marketing standpoint, you have to create marketing goals to ensure that you can actually get there from a marketing standpoint. Do you have the resources that are going to allow you that type of growth? Why do I say that? It's because sometimes we don't have a realistic picture of where our company can actually go. And so we have to think about how we're going to map it, how we're going to be able to get there and attain those goals. What you will find is that as you build those marketing goals, that there'll be some short-term goals as well as there'll be some long-term goals, right? There'll be some things that you can do immediately right now, even during COVID, that you can do as some quick wins to grow your company. And then there are some things that are going to require time in order to get there. We often confuse the two because we're so focused on, we got to get customers through the door. We got to get the cash flow. That is absolutely correct. And so an effective marketing strategy will consider both. You're going to have some things to work from the short game, and then you have some things that are crucial for long-term success as well. Okay, this knowledge and intelligence is, again, I can't state this enough. This is so important. It's critical to everything that we do from a marketing standpoint if we plan on having consistency and success over the long haul. So where do we start? Okay, typically if we are trying to get our intelligence right, number one, we need to understand what we need to know and have in place in order for marketing to work. Okay, I sit down with several business owners, several marketing types, and I am surprised at the situation where we have so many people who just don't know what they need to know in order to market effectively. So if you don't know, and then you probably need to do some type of marketing audit, some type of marketing assessment to kind of see where you are and what you need to have in place in order to improve, right? You need to be able to assess your vulnerabilities, assess your weaknesses. Most importantly, you need to understand where your information gaps are. What types of things do you need to know about your target audience? What type of things do you need to know about your competitors? What type of things do you need to know about your brand as a whole? How strong is your brand in the market? All of these things are very important, but sometimes we don't even know what we need to know. And so do an audit, do a marketing assessment. One of the reasons why we exist is because sometimes large agencies have those abilities to come in and do that nice marketing audit, that nice marketing assessment. But sometimes as small businesses, we just can't afford it, right? And so that's why we created the platform that Darlisa mentioned just briefly about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. But nevertheless, we do have a marketing tool that does that for you. It helps you identify your weaknesses, help you identify your vulnerabilities, and how you can march forward to improve upon your marketing strategy. So as we talk about gaining knowledge, take an assessment. That's number one. See where you actually are, what types of things are working well, what types of things aren't working so well, so that you can make some of those improvements. And then as we talk about knowledge and intelligence, we have to understand that we have to do our research, okay? Why do we have to do our research? One, because knowledge is power, okay? If you don't know, you won't make the right types of decisions. You will miss opportunities if you just don't know. And I'm sure many of us today have said, you know, after we made a bogus decision, right? We made a bad decision, a bad choice. And the number one thing that we say, man, I wish I had known prior to me doing it. It's the same thing as we make marketing decisions. I wish I had known before I spent all that money. Well, the only way for you to know is for you to go out and get the right information, okay? So you do the research, you conduct studies so that you can enhance your marketing, okay? Some of you guys are probably doing great at marketing or doing well at marketing. But just imagine if you had additional information about other opportunities. Imagine if you had the right information to enhance what you're already doing. That could be powerful, right? So I want to just kind of slide through here just some quick types of studies that you should have already done in the past and that you still should be doing continuously in business today as you look to market more effectively. So market research, looking at the industry, looking at different opportunities. So typically we see a lot of heavy market research as we get ready to start a company for the first time. If you haven't done that, if you didn't do that before you started your business, shame on you, but it's not too late. You can still take advantage of that opportunity. Competitive analysis. This is another type of study that needs to be done. We should always be evaluating our competitors. We can evaluate our competitors for benchmarking purposes. We can evaluate our competitors so we can steal their customer base for a multitude of reasons. But nevertheless, it'll guide you and help you shape your marketing strategy as well. Branding research, marketing campaign research, and then the number one thing that we should always be doing is making sure that our existing customers are satisfied. We can't do that if we don't know, right? I'm a married gentleman, and you know, throughout the years, what we have realized is that it is cheaper to keep your spouse, right? And that's the same thing in business. It's cheaper to keep that existing customer base that you have, right? But the only way that you can do that is understanding what their needs are, understanding if they're truly satisfied, if they're not satisfied, and then you should know very quickly. Why? Because we live in a digital world, in a social world, and if people aren't satisfied, they go and they tell everybody about your brand and about the situation or the experience that they had with your brand. Okay, so again, get the audit, conduct the research. Okay, and what that's going to allow you to do is actually build your marketing strategy effectively. Just think about it. As you think about what's going to work for your company, sometimes it becomes very frustrating because it's so much out there to choose. So much out there to choose from, right? You got this social media platform, you got that social media platform. We have this radio station here. We have this organization here. What am I going to use? What is going to be most effective for my business? And then you have all of the different marketing automation tools. You have all of these tools that enable you to do things effectively, but how am I supposed to choose these type of things, right? That's where the research comes in. And so what the research is able to do, okay, because all of those type of decisions sometimes cause chaos in our minds, right? If you just don't know. So what research will do, it'll take this chaotic environment that you see here, all in our heads, right? And it'll put order to it, okay? You'll be able to identify, okay, these group of individuals or these groups of companies or company types, these are the ideal target audiences that we need to be focusing on. This is our bread and butter, is focusing on these individuals, okay, or these companies. Hey, because we've done our research, we know exactly what marketing channels are going to be best. Why? Because we've identified who our target audience is. The target audience is going to tell you
what channels that you need to be using because you're trying to reach them, so you can identify where you can reach those individuals at. So we'll be able to better identify our channels. We'll be able to determine what promotional things we can offer. And then most importantly, what type of messaging is going to engage those that we want to do business with, okay? So we do the audit, we conduct the research, but we do this so that we can be orderly in our approach, okay? And once we have the order, and then we can talk about having a strategy. We can talk about our marketing and brand strategy because we have enough information to do it. So if you're guessing, you're missing opportunities and you're setting yourself up for potential failure. And you could be one of those companies that are within that 50%, and we don't want that. We want all of our small businesses to thrive as much as possible. And so taking the appropriate approach is so important, okay? So we have all of the information. Now it's time to build that infrastructure, okay? It's time to start building that marketing strategy. Make sure that you have everything in place. This is where we start planning, where we start creating those strategies and tactics that are gonna work well. We're gonna start determining what channels that we're gonna use as our primary means for attracting our clients, right? We're going to look at what type of media that we're going to use. Are we going to pay for ads? Which ads are we going to use? What type of ads are going to be more engaging? How much we should spend on those ads? Okay, so now we're getting to a point where now we're talking about the overall strategy of things, the right channels, okay, the right audience with the right message. This is what's going to work well for my business, okay? Oftentimes, our clients come to us because they simply don't have a strategy. Like, hey, Dyron, we have been doing some marketing things, and we really just don't think marketing works for us, right? We're not that type of business. Well, maybe you're going about it wrong, right? So maybe you try to come here and make some of these selections first versus going through the process of actually building the strategy, okay? And so we definitely don't want to put the cart before the horse. And so that's why I'm mapping you through the appropriate approach to actually get to building the ideal strategy, okay? So what we're really trying to do is create a marketing system, if you will, right? We are trying to create an environment where everything works together as one, okay? And so what we typically do for our clients as we build the marketing infrastructure, we look at the consumer journey as a whole. What type of things are gonna work for creating awareness, okay? And then after we've created that initial awareness, and then what? After we put that ad out on social media, are we linking them back to our website? Are we linking them to a landing page? What are they supposed to do to research our company? And do we have those things in place? Then after that, how are we going to convert them? Okay, we can get them aware, we can get them engaged, but then the process of conversion is terrible. And then you have people falling off. So if we get to that point and then the marketing system is not working because we don't have everything in place. And so we have to have all of these things in place and understand how it all maps together. So the third phase here again is to build that marketing system that's going to allow your company to grow consistently, and that you have a lot of things working for you and they're working together as one, okay? And once you have this roadmap in place, once you have all of the planning in place, now it is time to start executing. Now we have our marketing ecosystem set, we got our strategy set, now it's time to actually start getting this thing rolling. What type of digital things we have working, what the digital items are gonna be used for, creating leads, okay? Creating leads to our business development person, or to most of us, to ourselves as the business owner, right? And then what type of traditional things are gonna be working, and what's their purpose, okay? So the execution is so much easier after you have already mapped it out. Now it's just a matter of following the plan, following the roadmap. But we also have to make sure that we continue to monitor, that we continue to improve. Okay, just because we have our marketing strategy in place doesn't mean that we have to necessarily stay the same. We're always looking for improvement. We always have to monitor it and make sure that we assess it. And so there are a couple of things that kind of fall up under that marketing execution side of the house. I just kind of briefly listed that over here to the left. Okay, so at the end of the day, okay, what I'm trying to tell you is don't jump to the execution side of the house. Okay, let's make sure that we approach this holistically, that we approach this systemically, so that once we get to phase 4 of building your marketing strategy, you've already gotten everything that you need to know in order to make a good, strong marketing decision. Okay, and so when you do that, when situations like COVID, now COVID is a pretty tough situation regardless of having the strategy in place, but yet you can definitely be better equipped to handle COVID if you have a good, strong marketing strategy in place. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause just for a second. I've been speaking a lot, and I know Darlisa may have some comments, or may even have some questions about what I've said thus far. So I definitely want to take a break and allow her to pop in and see if there's something else that I need to tug on just a little bit more. So Darlisa?
Yes, I'm enjoying what you're saying. So, I mean, we do have questions, but we can funnel those until the end. If you want to continue and come to a good stopping point, we can do it that way.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, I was trying to give you an opportunity to speak, but you didn't take it. So.
Hey, I get plenty of chances. Now it's all yours. So I'm going to turn it back over to you.
I'm just kidding. No. So what can you do right now? Okay. As Darlisa mentioned earlier, and what I mentioned earlier is take a marketing assessment, right? And we have created a marketing platform to help you assess where you are. Okay, help you look at your marketing program and maybe identify some things that you probably should have had in place that you just don't have in place right now. Okay, and so our marketing assessment tool, you guys write this down, keep this name in your head. It's called iReveal. This platform is an intelligence platform to help you identify your blind spots, help you identify your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses within your marketing program, and then also help you assess your marketing dollars as well. Okay, so we could talk about assessment all day and what types of things that you should have in place, but how is your marketing dollars actually working for you? And this platform is designed to show you your marketing spend as well as show you your return on investment for that marketing spend. So what you'll do, this is just a quick snapshot of the landing page of the platform. You come in, you have different components of your marketing program. So we're going to assess all of those components from the existing customer base. We're going to evaluate what types of things that you have in place or that you should have in place that you don't have in place. We're going to look at your advertisement, your pricing, your promotion. We're going to look at all of these things, and you go in and you complete your assessment, and then our tool tells you what you should have in place, give you that overarching score to tell you where you are and the type of improvement that you need to actually make. Okay, and so after you complete the assessment as a whole, and then you have a nice dashboard here where you can look at your overall score. I got a 49%. Oh man, my marketing is terrible, right? But we just don't want to tell you that you are struggling. What we want to do is kind of pinpoint exactly where you're struggling. And so what it does, it breaks down into each of those components and gives you that score. Okay, from an advertising standpoint, this is where we are. And within the advertisement, let's dig down a little bit further. We don't have information about what types of advertising is best for our clientele, right? So it enables you to look at your marketing program as a whole, and then it will allow you to drill down just a little bit further, down into the specifics about what's actually going wrong within your marketing program. And then within the same platform, you have an action planning tool, things that you can do to research your audience, research your competitors, so forth and so on, to get the information that you need to know in order to be effective. So this is the platform. It's a great tool. It has helped many of my clients who have went through it, and just helped them get the perspective of, man, I didn't realize that there was so much to marketing in order to make marketing effective. And so I leave you with this platform as a path forward, a way to plan for developing your marketing strategy. As we continue to operate within COVID, we cannot again continue to do the same thing. Okay, we have to take this time to make sure that we have a solid marketing strategy that's going to work right now, as well as what's going to work hopefully after COVID. Hopefully we can see an end to this at some point. But nevertheless, now is the time to take immediate action and actually propel our companies forward. Okay, so here's my information right here, Dyron.Jolly at Incon LLC. If you have specific questions that you want answered about your marketing strategy, hey, let's sit down and have a conversation. Let's see what you're doing. Let's see how you can improve. Let's have a think tank, about creating some great ideas that will engage your audience more effectively. And so this is how you can contact me, is email. Let me know if you're interested in the assessment tool. We'll get you signed up for that so you can get your assessment done. So, okay, so pushing it back to you, Lisa, I think you got some comments or some questions that you want to pose to me.
So thank you so much again, Dyron, for that information. I think the platform, the information, everything that you shared was phenomenal. So many times we as entrepreneurs, we think of marketing is, basically social media, right?
Yes.
And I like that you mentioned that is a business misconception. Like, if the only thing that you're doing to market your business is relying on social media, you're kind of behind the curve already. So I think the information that you shared was very valuable. And I know for a fact that our viewers found value as well. Can you unshare your screen?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so we'll jump into some of these questions that we have. And for those questions that we don't get to, I will provide them in email to Dyron, and I will relate them back to us on the North Texas Entrepreneur Training Center platform. But thank you to all of you all who have submitted your questions, and still put your questions in the chat box. Feel free to send them an email. Dyron provided his email, so please feel free to continue in those questions, because that's the way you get the answers. So my first question comes in terms of target marketing. How effective is target marketing, and where should you start?
Well, absolutely, target marketing is most important. If you don't have a target audience, you're just trying to reach everybody, right? And if you're trying to reach everybody, 9 times out of 10, you don't have the resources to actually do that. Even your large companies have a target audience, okay? Your target audience is so important is because it helps you determine what marketing channels that you're going to actually use to engage them, right? If you know that your client or your ideal customers are males who like to work out, well, you will probably want to do some engagement at some type of sportsplex, some type of gym, some type of site online that's dealing with those type of individuals. So if you know who you're trying to reach, it helps you determine what types of things you can actually use to reach those people. One of the key things that we do to help us determine our client's target audience, if they're already operating, we look at their existing customer base. Okay, who's spending the most money with you? Who's coming to you more frequently? Well, you probably want to continue to reach those same type of people, right, in the market. So that could be a viable target audience by looking at who has already been spending with you. Another great way to identify your target audience is to look at your competitors. Who are they mostly acquiring? Who are they reaching? Okay, that is a good way to determine, well, we definitely would want to reach those individuals too. We got the same products and services, so it makes sense for us to try to steal some of that market share as well. Number three, identifying the target audience is really based off of their needs and their preferences, okay? So understanding what groups of people have the biggest need for your products and your services, okay? If people don't have a need or desire for your goods and services, it don't matter what type of ads or what type of marketing efforts that we have, you're still not going to engage them. You're still not going to be able to attract them. So they have to have a need or a desire for the things that you offer. And so conducting research will help you be able to determine who has the best needs.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So I do have two really good questions that I'd love to get your feedback on. So the first question deals with marketing attrition. So the question is, how long before we should see results on any marketing campaign? How can we attribute that to our marketing attrition?
Okay, and that's a very good question. Again, there are so many variables that determine whether that campaign is going to be successful or not. Okay, so have you taken the necessary steps to make sure that you set that campaign up for success? Okay, why are you running the campaign? Is your sole purpose to generate awareness, or are you trying to get people through your door? Okay, oftentimes we run campaigns just a blanket campaign out there, but we don't have a goal in place or goal in mind as to what we want that campaign to do. Okay, so how long should it take? That depends on what you're trying to accomplish with that marketing campaign. Okay, and so if you've already set the goal that you want to increase brand exposure by X amount by a certain period of time, and you get to that period of time and it's not done yet, or it's not completed, and then that marketing campaign didn't work for you, right? So we have to define the goals. We have to define what success looks like first, and then after we determine what success looks like, we take the steps to monitor and see if it's working. We look to see how we can make improvements, and then we actually make those improvements. So a long story short, that marketing campaign piece, it varies based off of what you're trying to accomplish and if you set it up properly.
Awesome. Thank you. And we do still have questions coming in, but I want to make sure we get to some of these good ones. So another good one is, I am a solopreneur. How do I know when there is too much marketing or not enough marketing based on just me working by myself?
Too much marketing. I think I probably need a little more information before I be able to really answer that one. But the long story short with this one is the marketing efforts that you're using. One, is it working? Okay, is it giving you a return on investment that you are looking to get? Okay. Those marketing activities that are not generating the return on investment that you're looking for, And then you're probably doing too much of it. So that's how you determine if you're doing too much of marketing. Is you could be doing too much because those things that you're using is not working. So you have to identify what marketing channels, what marketing efforts that you're using are actually working. And have you really looked at your marketing spend and what that return on investment is? If the things are working for you and you're getting great return on investment, continue doing it, right? Continue to maximize those things. The things that aren't working so well, either cut them or figure out how to do them more effectively. But I probably would want to talk to that individual a little bit more just to kind of see what all they have going for them, and really look at the data and really see what types of things are working well for the company.
Well, there you have it, Kelly. Please make sure you reach out to Dyron, Dyron.Jolly at InconLLC.com, and he will dive deeper into that question for you. Next question, and thank you for answering that question. Next question is marketing dependent on the budget that you allocate?
Absolutely. The different types of marketing activities that you leverage, I mean, you got to pay for them some type of way, right? And so sometimes you can't just start out doing everything that you want to do from a marketing standpoint, okay? And that's part of building the strategy, okay? Part of building the strategy is looking at what type of financial resources that you have right now. Okay, right now, we only can spend $200 a month. We can only spend $10 a month. Right. So what type of things can we do at lower cost to start generating clientele? Okay, and then we get those individuals to refer people. That could be a strategy for us, right? So we're going to start here, and then once we get to a point where we can spend $200, $300 a month, we're gonna really open up our digital campaigns. We're gonna start running a lot of ads and so forth and so on. But you have a plan in place. You have milestones that you have set. Once I get to this point, then I can start spending a little bit more money. But while I'm in this phase, these marketing activities is what's gonna work best for my company, based off of what I know, based off of the information. But if you don't have the right information, you just start doing things with a low budget and it's not working for you, you get frustrated, you get mad. Marketing doesn't work. Well, marketing does work when you do it the right way, right? So that is all part of your strategy. Based off of what you can afford, that's all built into your strategy because you're trying to get to different milestones where you can open that marketing strategy completely wide open, okay?
Awesome. So that's a great segue into kind of this other question. And the question says, if social media is not the best option, what are some other marketing tactics that can be used on a small budget?
Okay. That one, everything that you use should be based off of your target audience, first and foremost. So if your target audience doesn't really engage in certain types of social media, then you shouldn't be using those type of media things anyways, okay? But one of the cheapest forms of advertisement is what? Word of mouth. So a way for you to generate new business is off of your existing customers. Maximize those people. Do you have loyalty programs in place? Do you have referral programs in place? Are you enhancing that experience where these individuals serve as your ambassadors? They go out, they sell for you because they love your brand so much. That is the cheapest way to get new customers is through your existing customers. How many times have you decided to go and purchase a product because somebody said, man, this is the best thing since sliced bread, right? You go forth and you make that purchase all based off of your cousin or your friend telling you about that product or service. So if you don't have a lot of money, let's look at how we can maximize the people that you already have, making sure that they're happy first, So sometimes the people that we are doing business with, they come through our doors and then they leave right out the back door. They never come back. So how can we get them to repeat business with us? How can we get them to refer a friend to our business? If they're coming back more, that means more money. If they're referring people, that means more money that you didn't have to go out and invest in any marketing resources towards.
Awesome. So we are going to pause on the Q&A for now. Thank you guys so much again for submitting all of your questions. Again, all of the questions that have come in, I will be sure to email Mr. Dyron, and he can provide us with answers. Maybe we'll invite him back on where he can just answer those questions. We'll figure out how to get those questions to you. But most definitely, feel free to reach out to him, Dyron.Jolly at Incon LLC. That's INCON LLC.com. And Dyron, can you provide us information on where people can learn more about Incon LLC and the iReveal platform?
Okay. Yeah. So Incon LLC, go to www.inconllc.com. There's a lot of information. We of course have LinkedIn. Come and link up with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to be sharing a lot of helpful hints here in the near future as we launch our online campaigns here very, very shortly. So link up with me on LinkedIn. Just search Dyron Jolly. There, I'm going to be putting out content that will hopefully help you build strategy, market more successfully. But in terms of the platform, if you go to Incon LLC, everything about the platform is also included there, and then you can get that information there, or just reach out and drop me an email, and I will give you some additional insights. We'll send you a little information about the platform where you can learn a little bit more about it. It's a great tool, a great starting point to kind of figure out what types of things that you need to have in place to build that infrastructure.
Awesome. Well, I surely thank you so much, Dyron, for your time today. I thank you for the information. The North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center is proud to be able to connect with entrepreneurs, specialists, strategists, all types of professionals to be able to provide you, our network, with valuable content. Marketing, we all need it. We all need education on it, and we can always all do it better. So I want to thank you again, Dyron, for being on today. This information will be on our North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center Facebook page. So please be sure that you connect, share, and engage further. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Dyron, and we will be sure to get you that information.
Just one added incentive, and I know we're over, but I have an ebook that I forgot to mention that will help you do the research. This is a book that tells you the steps to learn how to identify your target audience, how to do the research for it. So we have an ebook. If you're interested in this ebook, is completely free. Reach out to me and say, hey, listen, I really want to get that ebook that you talked about so that I can learn how to research my market and research my competitors, so forth and so on. Give me a buzz and say that that's what you were looking for, and I will get that to you. Sorry about that.
Ooh, so that was the goodie I was talking about. I didn't want to put it out there. Maybe he didn't want to give it to you guys anymore because you weren't a good audience. Just kidding. Just kidding. Dyron is providing access to the free ebook on effective marketing strategies. Please reach out to us, myself or him, preferably him, to get the information, but you can always reach out to me as well. And look for it on our content here on the Facebook Live. And maybe we will put a link or something like that. It just all depends. But I just want to thank you guys so much for your time today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for engaging, and thank you again, Mr. Dyron, for being our guest today. Any closing thoughts?
No, thank you. Hopefully, I was able to add value and give some helpful information to those who were listening.
Awesome. Thank you all. I'm Darlisa Diltz, the Managing Director and owner of the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center. Until next time, please feel free to look for us on all social media channels. Bye.
Bye, Darlisa. Have a great one.